Thank you for joining Profit from the Pod. I'm your host, Tom Rowe. Today, the very special guest we have is Justin from Crazy Tight Lines. Justin started his YouTube journey of Crazy Tight Lines roughly 18 months ago. He has over 500 videos, and he talks about fishing, mostly in the Midwest, Ohio. And I'm happy to have him on here today to talk about his journey. Justin, thanks so much for joining me. I want to ask you what you were doing before you decided to start Crazy Tight Lines.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for having me, Tom. I was doing a lot of stuff really before Crazy Tight Lines. I've dabbled in YouTube for years. I guess I've got two other YouTube channels. One that revolved around like reselling. And I know we've talked about that in the
Mm-hmm.
past and sort of how we met. And the other one was with gaming. And then, so I was like, you know what? I'm not really reselling right now and I'm not really gaming, but I am fishing pretty heavily. So why not just like share that journey? So
Oh,
that's where that came from.
it's interesting because those are three things that I was very interested in too. Reselling, gaming, even at my age, I game, and for sure the journey of podcasting. So, tell me about the moment in your mind where you said, you know what, I am going to shift my gear and I'm going to start this new podcast or the new channel called Crazy Tight Lines.
Yeah. So I just is what I had going on at the time. And I've always found it, well, it's sort of, it's not like a singular thing because I'd like to say like, well, that's what I was into at the time. And so I'll be able to get content like for that because that's what I'm doing the most of. And that makes sense, right? Like whatever you're
Hmm.
doing a lot of, just sort of record that and then turn it into content. But at the same time, it's hard to sometimes do what you're doing and then also like make content of it. So you're out there doing it,
Hmm.
and then on top of that, you're doing other stuff to get the content. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had going on, and I was like always trying to just share sort of knowledge for the internet. The internet's a very powerful tool, right? And YouTube is an amazing search engine, even pastime that you get to meet a lot of different people on, which is cool,
Hmm.
and yeah, sort of help people out and just you can look back too. So some of the cool things is like you can look back at your journey with whatever the thing is. And so it's cool to look back and see some of them catches and you're like, oh yeah, man, I remember those, or I remember when I did this or whatever it was. So it's cool to have those sort of captured in time like that.
Right. So you're really creating content that you know a lot about and that you are already doing already. It's not something that you thought about, I'm going to start doing this. I don't really have a lot of experience doing it. I'm going to do some research. But
Mhm.
from what I am hearing is that you really had a love or a passion for fishing and that you decided that you were going to document that type of content. Is that pretty much the case?
Yeah, yep. There was no, if I was looking for something to get a niche into that was gonna like go viral or blow up, I think fishing was the wrong thing to pick, but definitely a passion project.
Mhm. Right, right. Did you think a long time about starting Crazy Tight Lines before you actually had the name and the content kind of going forward? Or was this just something that you said, "Hey, one day I thought about it and the next day I started it?" Or was it a longer journey?
It was not a long journey. It was I'm gonna get a GoPro and just put it on my chest and see what happens and then put it on the internet. The longest part of that was choosing the name because when you go on YouTube, you kind of want everything. Like I had in mind, like, okay, this is going to be something that maybe brands are going to reach out about and stuff like that. So I wanted my email to line up to my YouTube. And so getting those two to mesh
Mhm,
was the longest thing because I was going to originally do like real tight lines, like a play on words, REEL. And that was taken by
mhm.
somebody who started a channel, 10 years ago who has one video that's locked that name. So it's sort
Bummer.
of yeah, sort of finding that name that can also match up with, like, emails and other social media was the longest part of it, but
Right. Talking about some of that other social media, what other platforms do you use besides the YouTube? And I'm pretty sure you use Facebook, right?
yeah, so YouTube lately, I've just been repurposing short videos from other platforms. I've
Hmm.
got some stuff in the works as far as longer content, but Facebook is a big one. I'm on Facebook probably more than anything at the moment, and so Facebook is just my I just use my personal account, just my name, and then
Mhm.
that post to Instagram, which is Crazy Tight Lines, and then I've been venturing into TikTok as well. It makes me TikTok honestly makes me feel old because it's like the thing to do, but I am not familiar with it. And I'm like when I first opened it up, I was like, this is dumb. All it like talks right away, just continuously feeds stuff. And I'm like, you can't like search like it's just not I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but I've been working on it.
I hear you. And I've got quite a few more years on you. And when I opened up TikTok, it was an eye opener, but I was fascinated by it. And I had started a channel on TikTok talking about the reselling, and it got some views. But then I decided, you know what, maybe I'm not going to make it about me. I make it about my dog. And I went from having 1,500 subscribers in like the next 2 months with my dog, my German
Yeah.
Shepherd. I had over 10,000. So,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
it's not about me. It's about my dog. My
That's
dog gets more
hilarious.
views than I do.
It's always gonna be though, even with fishing, you'll catch the biggest fish of your life and get minimal amount of views, and then you'll take a picture of some log floating down the river when it's high, and you get 10 times the amount of views. It's,
Right.
sort
Right.
of how it works.
You never know what's going to go viral, or you never know what you're not going
Mhm.
to catch. Because I remember watching one of your videos earlier in the week, and I think you had caught, it might have been a smallie, and you said I didn't even have like the retrieve in there.
Yeah.
I didn't film the retrieve or catching it,
Mhm.
just afterwards you're showing it. But that happens. That's life, right? I
Yep.
mean, that could actually be a viral video of,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I just caught this really nice fish and I don't have
Yeah.
any video of actually catching it.
Yeah, the biggest one of the biggest videos I know that I've had that's been into the hundreds of thousands of views was I snagged on the bottom of like a rock or something, and I pulled my rod in a very like not wise way, and it broke. I mean, it was 12 seconds of me pulling on the line, grabbing the rod, and snapping, and hundreds of thousands of views, lots of traction. Most of
Hmm.
the comments were about, they were all negative. Most of them were like, oh, you're a horrible person, like, what are you talking about? They're like, "Oh, of course, your daddy never showed you to fish." I mean, just crazy stuff. Like they've never, had an accident or something. So
Justin, unless or until you snap a rod, you are not a real fisherman.
yeah, or get it stuck in a tree.
Get it? Come on, I lost so many lures in trees, and now I lose so many lures or rigs in the rocks when I fish the wrecks off the Atlantic Ocean. It used to be all in trees when I was fishing the reservoirs for
Yeah,
freshwater, but you're always losing stuff and you're always doing bonehead stuff with fishing.
mm,
But that's what makes it fun because it's not easy. It is not
no,
easy, right?
yeah.
So, so Justin, what has been in your mind? What's been consuming you about content that you want to make within the last few weeks? Where's your mindset going? What are you thinking about?
My mind goes all over the place. I've got so much content that I need to get to because when you're doing something like filming fishing, right? So if you're taking your like GoPro, whatever it is, and you're going out there for hours and you have all this footage to try to cut it down, condense it. I mean, I've got stuff from last year. Actually, that one you had mentioned where I forgot to record it, that was from last summer, and I
Hmm.
just now gotten around to doing it. So my mind right now, a couple things. One, I'd like to get like monetized on these platforms, right? So I've got a couple monetized channels already on YouTube, but the fishing one's been harder. The watch hours are hard to get. I've been monetized on Facebook. Instagram, I don't think you can. TikTok, I'm just sort of starting with like almost 1,000 subscribers. But my mind right now is continue to build on Facebook, incorporate those other social media platforms, and then YouTube specifically. I want to move my content away from just like catching fish and
Hmm.
more towards like tutorial type deals, right? Because those seem to get more traction and those will sort of live in the space longer, right? Like if you got a video, I think about, hey, these three lure breakdowns and how to fish them in whatever muddy water and then clear water and then whatever it is. I think those are going to have more longevity than just somebody watching somebody catching fish. I think there'll always be that crowd if you have a following, there are people that are in that niche that they just show themselves fishing, but they've been doing YouTube for, 10 years and they've just built that traction over a long period of time. So content wise, definitely moving more towards instructional tutorial type deals than focusing on I'll still have the fishing content, but YouTube try to incorporate some more of the other stuff.
Do you get any content ideas by watching other creators or other channels, maybe not even fishing?
This is so bad of me to say. Yes and no. I'm in a group with some other anglers, a specific bait group that we're all sort of affiliated with, and all of them make content, right? I rarely watch any of their stuff. So I just don't have time, right? Like I'll watch little bits and I'll see things and I think there's benefits to that. I don't do it as much as I should though. But yeah, I do though get ideas from different kinds of things, just personal stuff that I'm watching, quick little clips and stuff like that. And I think the biggest thing I want to try to learn from other people is how to title effectively and how to like clip effectively and like edit. Like I try to learn something about editing every time I make a
Mhm.
longer form video, right? So whether it's you're going to
Right.
put the hook set in the beginning or you're going to put some B-roll in there. So I do look to other people to see sort of how they space that out.
Right. Because, as a former teacher, we were both former teachers. I think you can learn a lot from watching others and you can incorporate some of their best practices in your videos. And I liked what you said. It seems that you are paying attention to each video, each production, and trying to make that better than the one previous. Like you said, adding B-roll,
Mhm.
getting quicker with your edits, or putting some hooks in the beginning.
Yeah.
Mimic what's going well. I mean, there's a lot of really good YouTube content creators out there. I feel that when I'm trying to make some content, if I'm looking for something different, I'm going to go to somebody who has 1 million subscribers and I'm going to go back to their first video and then I'm going to watch their present videos.
Yeah.
And it's light years. These people with millions of subscribers started out in their own words, because this is Mr. Beast's own words. My own first 50 videos were terrible. And look at where he is today.
Hmm.
You just have to get better, try to get better with each video. And I think that's a great idea that you said that you're trying to make each one better than the previous one.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think there's a lot of tools out there as well, and I think you've got to compare yourself not necessarily to people who are doing big subscriber counts because a lot of times they're outsourcing a lot of this stuff, right? Like there's certain people you can tell big
mm-hmm,
names out there that they do the content, they have an idea, they pitch it, somebody edits it for them, thumbnails, all that. So that's going to be very different than somebody who is, working 60 hours a week, has a YouTube channel that's still doing well, but isn't like outsourced a lot. So I guess sort of, I don't know, shoot for the stars, but kind of play in your own field, I guess. If that
mm-hmm.
would analogy would make sense.
Yeah, sure. And like you said before, sometimes you don't have time to look at other people's videos because this little thing called life and work
Yeah.
get in the way, you know? That kind of leads me to my next question. How do you balance as a content creator and you have more than one channel and you have a family and work? How do you balance all of that together? Because if you spend a lot of time doing one thing, it might affect the other. I mean, I can just
Mhm.
imagine when I was younger, if I spent like 20 hours a week fishing, which I could do I know I could do it because I loved it so much. But how do
Yeah.
you deal with all the challenges of being pulled in all these different directions?
Yeah, you gotta set priorities it's tough, right? Because especially with something like fishing content, fishing takes a long time anyway, and there's all kinds of memes about it, right? About like husband and wife kind of like jokes and stuff like that. But those can get real and those can be not funny if it's happening, right? And that's with whatever hobby you're doing. And then you add on top of that time to create the content and that kind of stuff. My spouse, my wife, super supporting. She'll let me know if I'm going too far in
Mm-hmm.
one direction, which is fair because, she deserves my time as a
True.
priority, but she's super understanding and like supportive of me wanting to do this as well. So yeah, pretty much planning priority and grace from her.
And I really I really like what you said about that you have a very supportive spouse, and I have a very supportive spouse as well. She recently got me that logo board, Profit from the Pod, for an early Father's Day present.
Oh,
And it
cool.
just means so much when you have someone else on your side. Even if I just
Mhm.
wanted to throw some ideas at her. You know, she's been in the corporate role world for so many years, and now that we're winding down the work thing, it's always nice to have somebody else supporting and someone else that you can they can look at your work through a separate set of eyes, and they're probably not going to hold anything back because it's your spouse.
Yeah.
It's important, right? Yeah. Has your progress been fluid, and have you had to make any changes based upon your, whether it was a goal of having a certain amount of subscribers, a few, like a consistency of producing videos, or maybe even looking for sponsorships? Have you had to make any changes because of those goals, if those were your goals?
Yeah, I think, well, there's a saying, right? Well, I don't know if it's a saying or it's a parable. I'm not sure, but I'll just put it this way. It says you got to stop and sharpen the axe sometimes. Right? If you got a blunt axe, you're moving, you're doing stuff, and you're not chopping the wood because the axe is
Mm-hmm.
blunt, right? So you need to stop, reflect, sharpen the axe, get back to it, and it goes smoother. But then sometimes all you have is a blunt axe, right? So you gotta sort of move forward. I think right now I'm at the point where I need to stop and sharpen a little bit, sort of what I mentioned before, because as a goal, and I think this is, I mean, people may say this isn't their goal, and I'm not looking to get rich on YouTube, but I think having a goal of being monetized is sort of like winning the YouTube game, like level one, right? Like because it's just like, hey, people want to watch this, content. You got to get 4,000 watch hours, which has been hard for fishing. So I
Sure.
am, like I said earlier, going to readjust and do that more of a like a tutorial type content. So I'm currently in the process of readjusting. I have a goal in the back of my head to do one of those videos a week. I have several sticky notes, post-it notes, notes in my phone, to infinity about topics to do it on. I haven't done them yet.
Well, I mean, at least you have the content ideas. You just have to
Yeah.
go out and have the fun doing it. It's
Yeah.
awesome that you like fishing so much. You have those content ideas, and then you can just go out and have some fun, and hopefully you catch some good production on
Yeah.
film, right? Going back to what you said about your motivation for starting the Crazy Tight Lines, I do believe that you had some sort of product placement or a sponsorship with a rod manufacturer. Is that correct?
Not a raw manufacturer. I do work with Ned Wacky is a bait a company that I work with, and then there's a couple other ones. Pradco work with them, and then just some other kind of like some waiters, fans, and
Hmm.
just some different things like that. And that's been a pretty cool and unexpected thing too. I had a company reach out to me earlier today. I actually just had a call with them about being on like their pro team, and then there's benefits to that and stuff. But the coolest part that I found about being a part of a team like that is like the people you get to meet through that team, right? So we're in a group with the bait brand that I'm with now with Ned Wacky, and like we're on this group, and there's say like six, seven, eight, nine of us, something like that. And if you got a question about anything, like hey, making this YouTube video, how would you guys go about doing that? And there's an answer, right? Or hey, I'm looking at
Hmm.
fishing this, here's an answer. Or hey, this is what I found success with, and they post it. And so that's been the biggest benefit that I've had so far from being on social media with fishing specifically is just meeting other anglers and picking each other's brains. So that's been the coolest part for
Right.
me.
Where do you think those sponsorships or those companies found out about Crazy Tight Lines?
One of them, YouTube, another one, Facebook. And I reach out to some. There's people that I know that are affiliated with them. And so I'll reach out to them and give them like a little
Hmm.
media kit and stuff like that and sort of wait to hear back.
All right, so you have a media kit. Okay. So did you have to reach out to some of those sponsorships, and how did you pick which ones you were going to reach out to?
Yeah, I just started by some of the guys that I know, that I trust as
Hmm.
far as the gear they use and stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, we're sort of similar in the niche. If they're sponsoring them, maybe they'll sort of hook me up with some stuff. And so that's sort of like a name drop kind of deal, you know?
Right.
but also just their confidence in the brand.
I look at some of the content creators who have a lot of subscribers, but in 2026, it's not about all the subscribers that you have. It's about the niche and how dialed in you are to your niche. Now, you have well over, was it 1,600 subscribers on YouTube? How many
Mhm.
followers do you have on Facebook?
Facebook, I've got around 960 followers.
Which is awesome. And you are getting sponsorship and product placement companies calling you or
Mhm.
contacting you because of what you are doing. They must really feel that your content is spot on for their product placement. So congratulations on that. And Justin, it's really a new channel for you. It's not even a year and a half old, and you're already got yourself some product placements and sponsorships. That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, it's between all the social media, I'm finding that, man, like Instagram, that's one of the reasons I'm moving towards TikTok some is because you hear so much about TikTok. Like, and there's so many people that are sponsored by people or affiliated with them. Like, hey, how do I get hooked up with that? And they're like, "Oh, on TikTok, they reached out on TikTok, they reached out on Instagram." And I'm like,
Hmm.
man, I don't think it's necessarily an age thing, but I'm like YouTube, Facebook. And like I stopped there, right? Because like
Hmm.
those were the things when I was of that like age, early 20s and stuff like that, that I was sort of into it. And then so much stuff has come out since then. So yeah, YouTube definitely. Someone's reached out about the YouTube, which I was just shocked. Really, like, hey, somebody watched it and they were like, "Oh, this is cool. We're gonna reach out to them." So that's a huge blessing right there. But a lot of it comes through more social media type things as well.
Right. And I think
Instagram.
and I think that's how I reconnected with your content. I think we were Facebook friends,
Yeah.
based on what we kind of went through prior to making our content on YouTube. And then I saw it was about fishing, and I love fishing, and I don't care what type of fishing it is. I'll watch it. And I really said, wow, this is awesome. And then I checked out Crazy Tight Lines, and I was like, you're catching a lot of fish, because I mean, I'll go out. I can remember all those times I went fishing for freshwater species, and I would come home not catching any fish, like maybe a bluegill or something, but I really was targeting either smallmouth or largemouth bass or perch or something like that. But I really do. I really do like your channel because you have a lot. I'm sure you have a lot of footage, and you're catching some fish. And I know how hard those smallies are to catch on artificials, because I used to just catch them on crawfish or worms. But I was only using organics, but talking about organic going into artificials, let's talk about artificial intelligence. Are you using AI in any of your production of any of your channels or your social media content?
One thing I've started using AI for are thumbnails, and I'm just sort of like playing around with it. So I haven't done anything outside of like, not really. I haven't really used any AI in actual like production, like footage,
Hmm.
but AI for title generation ideas, which sometimes they can seem sort of choppy. And I'm just sort of playing with it right now because I'm not convinced on it, because sometimes these programs would tell you this is a 99 score for like SEO.
Hmm.
And then it does way worse than something that I just sort of like made up out there. And then thumbnails as well, mainly because, dude, thumbnails sort of suck to make, right? Like I don't have fun making thumbnails. I do not. So if I can get an AI generated thumbnail that looks good, I'm trying that to see sort of how it works. So far, it hasn't brought in anything spectacular, but I'm not sure if it's hurt either. So
Hmm. I get you, because I would say on a graphic stage, I use AI to make my thumbnails and some of my B-roll type of screen content. And then AI is in my software through Riverside. I scrub everything before I even start editing with my AI content in my AI editor on Riverside, and that takes care of a lot of the bumps that I'd have to go out and edit. Makes it a lot easier for me. I'm not
Mhm.
actually telling the AI what to do when I'm doing the production editing, but I am using AI, and I am making a long list of prompts when I am making my thumbnail and having to go through 3 or 4 generations of or changes of the first image that ChatGPT will give
Yeah.
me. Which of the AI modes are you using to make those thumbnails?
So I have used ChatGPT. I got a few months of vidIQ to
Mhm.
sort of give that a try. And I mean, it's a paid service. Whether it's been worth it or not, I'm not sure. It sort of is for me because I also do like an Amazon influencer sort of deal where I promote like products for like commissions and stuff. And I
Mhm.
started a YouTube channel about those as another place to post them. And it's nice to be able to quickly move a minute and 30-second video talking about whatever and then hit generate title and then generate a thumbnail. And then, like you said, you have to go through it a couple times and then that's it. Because there's not a lot of investment for me in that video, right? It's a minute and 30-second video, so that helps a lot. But yeah, vidIQ is one, and I've been doing it with the Crazy Tight Lines some as well, and I think some of it turns out pretty good. I mean, it's a fairly realistic version of a fish with like the lures that I want in there. I always have her
Mhm.
remove my face because AI has not dude. They don't have the face down yet. They just
They make me
they
look pretty
just
good,
don't.
Justin. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of. They take away a lot of the wrinkles and age spots. So
yeah.
I'm for me, I'm pretty good for AI. Maybe they'll give me a little bit more hair. But you know what, Justin, hair is overrated.
I agree.
So
Yeah, they
I'm
say
okay with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say God only made so many perfect heads, and he put hair and all the rest.
There you go. There you go. Hey, going back to the Amazon thing, can you spend a little bit of time because that's a whole different avenue that I haven't talked about the Amazon avenue while I was talking with the interviewers for Profit from the Pod. Talk to me about how you started with the Amazon and what exactly you do.
Well, so Amazon influencer is basically I'll just give you the bird's eye view of it. It's twofold. One, you can take a link of a product and then put it into your socials. People click on that link, they buy the product, you get a commission. And then two, this is where I really have the cash flow coming in, so to speak, where it's become a staple of our income, is you can do shoppable videos. So if you've ever seen like a product on Amazon, and most people have, and you go to the reviews and you can see videos right there.
Yes.
Some of them will say earns commission. That's like what I do. Now, you'll get your own Amazon page where you can put the video up and you can get followers and all that kind of stuff. I've been doing it for almost 2 years. I have zero followers on it, which I didn't expect to. It doesn't matter to me because that's not how you earn the money anyway. So
Right.
you'll do a video, you'll post it up there, and then if Amazon decides to, they will take that video that you did, put it on the ASIN page, the product page, and then
Mm-hmm.
if somebody watches it and then buys it, then you get the commissions there. So this could be a whole nother thing. There's a
Yeah.
whole subset of that called creator connections where brands reach out and you have a list. I mean, like 400,000 something brands, half a million, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
tons. And I actually use a software called Viral View that helps you sort of sort through that. And these brands give you bonus commission. So you reach out to the brand. Hey, so and so, here's my social media, crazy tight lines, blah blah blah. I'd like to review your product. In exchange for your product, I'll do this, this, and this, put it on Amazon. And dude, I get probably 6 or 7 boxes a day to review stuff. So you get all kinds of free product that you're reviewing that you're then getting commissions on. And if they're part of that creator connection program, you get a commission on top of that. Amazon may give you 2%. These brands may give you 10, 15, 20%. So that's
Well,
sort of
that's
my,
interesting.
yeah, sort of replaced my reselling
Yeah.
income for
Yeah.
sure.
I wonder if that's where I saw the product placement for the rod that I bought, Cast King. Were you ever with
Yeah.
Cast King?
Yeah, so actually, Cast King, they're not a sponsor, but like I'm an affiliate, right? Like they give you a little
Mm-hmm.
discount code and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I've reviewed some Cast King rods and that kind of stuff, and none of them are super in depth, really. It just goes through the basics, sort of what they are, and yeah, so it's very possible you have seen me on there with some rods and some reels and various things.
Very good. It seems like you've got your hands in a lot of different directions with a
Oh yeah,
lot of really fun and entrepreneurial stuff. I love hearing that about people. Like they just don't have to do one thing. They kind of spread
yeah.
themselves out. And there's nothing wrong with that because I get bored if I do the same thing over and over, unless it's fishing, of course. But
Yeah.
but if I have to do something over and over, I find it monotonous. I'd rather be doing a lot of different things. What's that old saying? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
that.
Well, master of some. It's like
Yeah,
jack of all trades, master of
master
some.
of some. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I really do appreciate you spending the time with me. It means a lot to me that you came on. I appreciate it, and I wish you all the luck going forward on all of the avenues that we talked to about today.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's cool to be a part of this, and I hope things go well for you too, and the podcast blows up.